Hey guys, Steve here from Tony's, working on a 04 Touareg, getting it cleaned up. This is the cleaning part. The mechanical part comes later under the engine bay, but just wanted to give you a little, I call it X-ray vision, as to how this stuff comes apart. I wasn't able to find a whole lot of resources on how to get this out of here. What you see in front of you is basically the front 2/3 of the console. Torn out so I could get the pop and stuff cleaned out, clean up a switch that wasn't working, get ready to put new decals on some of these other switches. So I'm just going to give you a quick little, like I say, this is kind of my X-ray vision and my explanation of how this comes apart without doing a piece by piece, having you watch me do it. First off, there's a console back here that's got a bin. This one has a light in it, so I took the light out and pulled that out. It's got two little pins that lock it in the bottom. It pulls straight up, exposing two screws if there were the two little mounting brackets here. One was already broken and this one broke off in the process, but I had already taken the screw out, so whatever. So that takes the screws out of here, which allows this entire bezel to come out. One thing you need to do first, though, is take this off. Or one thing I did first, just to kind of expose everything and give a little bit of more prying room. You wouldn't have to take this out because this just sits over the shifter bezel, and that'll just, it's not attached to it, it's attached to this piece. But just to show you how this attaches to the vehicle, this has little plastic pins. There's like 10 or 12 of them on the back here that go down into the console, and they just snap down in there. So they just snap straight up. Basically, it's everything you can do to pull this straight up with plastic pry tools. I found it was pretty handy to take this bezel out. I also at that point had this out because I had already taken the shifter off. I got in with some bigger ones and pried around the inside here, and that helped get some of that. Because keep in mind, this bezel is sitting over the top of this. You don't really want to try to pull this off. I wouldn't, with this still in the car, just because these are metal and they're held on by metal clips. You can see in the corner there. This is plastic. They're held on with plastic clips. I try to leave some of these on. This bezel sits here, and it's held in by their famous metal clips that just grab like heck. There aren't any fasteners underneath this, so this could stay on. This one can stay on while you take it out. Like I said, it was advantageous for me to take this off. I had to get it cleaned inside anyways, and cleaned inside here. So I had taken the shifter off already. If you want to leave the shifter, that's great. That's great, just leave it. But I'm just showing you what the fasteners are. This again is held in by these little metal clips. There's 5 of them here into that bezel. Wire clips, self-explanatory. These range switches will not come out of here from the top without taking everything apart. They have little clips that have to be accessed from the back. So just a warning, if you're going to think you're going to take these out from the top just by prying on them or getting something in there, they don't fit in that way. They fit in from the bottom. You really got to get them from the bottom. So these two come from the bottom. This middle switch, which I've taken apart because it was all gummed up, fits in there. There's 4 little teeth, 4 little fangs there that snap that down in there. This one was kind of a bugger. I needed a pick to get that out of there, just to get those fangs back far enough that this would pop out. I did tear the switch apart. This Comfort Auto and Sport was stuck on Comfort, but I guess we want the option since it's there. So I've taken that apart. I'm waiting. I've got stickers, new stickers for these bezels here. I just popped this one off to see if it'd be a little bit easier to work on it. I've got new stickers coming, so I've kind of keeping this all this stuff all apart. I've got two kits. One's black and one's supposed to be a gunmetalish, black gunmetal. So we'll see which one looks like what, and I think they might come with stickers even to cover up the jazzy wood grain on this stuff. I'll see, but I've got everything tore apart. It's going to stay that way. To touch upon the shifter comes out actually fairly easy if you know what's in behind it and what you need to do. I didn't, and so I just kind of, first step, pull this cover off. It's got a tooth on the bottom that pulls off. It exposes what looks like just a little metal staple stuck in there, which actually grabs onto the shaft for the gear selector. One thing you want to do before you pull this off is put this button in service mode, which consists of pulling this out about as hard as you can to get it to where you can see the little holes, the spring or lock pins. As you pull it out, it seizes itself. It gets stuck out, which also there's a pin in there that when you push it activates the rod on the shifter. When you put it in this mode, it gets it out of the way. So when you push this back down on the car and push that in, it locks it. And then you can put it all back together. So again, this cover off, fancy staple. Pull this out. If you forget to do that, or if you bump this and it slams in because you didn't have it far enough, get some compressed air behind here. Not one of these duster things, but an actual air compressor. Blow in here, and this will come out enough that you can get your fingers or a screwdriver or pliers with a cloth to get this pulled out into a service position. So, but as you can see, this is all apart. I'm down to a bare frame here. But I wanted to show you, kind of give you some X-ray vision as far as this is plastic clips. These are metal clips with aluminum. Oh, the front part, this is that magical little cubby that is in the front. This lid has 4 pins that just lock in here. This you won't take apart until you've got this out of the car. This is the magical, let's see if I can do it with one hand here. It slides open and locks open, and then you push it again, and ooh, it closes nice. So this has a cigarette lighter in here. It also has what's supposed to be an ashtray, depending on how you use it. There is this one, the lid was completely gone or completely off it. Luckily all the parts were there. This was in the car, this was in the car. The magical part to me is there is a spring in here that coils up into this area. I had to get that fed back through and figure out how that went in there. There's a slot at the back here that kind of makes you think that the spring should come out there. Don't believe it. Just leave that. Bring it on the inside. Lock it into the little tabs. There's little tabs there for it to fit onto. And life will be good. And again, these are all tore apart because I may be covering them with a sticker. So everything's wrapped now these days, right? So, okay, so, any questions, let me know, but I don't know when this will be posted up. So, there's the console, and there'll be another video of what it's like inside the car with all this stuff taken out. Talk to you later.